What's up, guys? This is Vapes to Gaming here, coming at you with another Black Ops 3 video, and today I'm going to talk about the NFL and the players kneeling or locking arms or not standing up for the anthem, that type of stuff. And basically, I'll be going through my list. I'll be making some points of my own. I'll be sharing my opinions. Feel free to share your opinions in the comments. If you agree with mine, please leave a like on the video. And without further ado, let's get into it. So, the movement Colin Kaepernick started was to kneel during the anthem, and it was there to protest any type of racial tensions and police brutality in the United States, and how that everyone was targeting blacks, and it was a huge racist ordeal, and that's not entirely true. I mean, you're going to have to you got to look at some statistics, go on to FBI.gov, look at what's really happening, and then make your own informed decision. Is everything perfect? No. Far from it. Are we ever going to get it to be perfect? No. Actually, we're going to get pretty far from it. There really is no way to go off and correct this. There's just ways to bring attention to it and make sure that people are doing the right thing. Now, getting into the NFL. So, he kneeled in order to do all of that. It was during the anthem. People thought it was a protest against America, a protest against the flag. And it really didn't help his cause when he was going off and wearing like Castro shirts when Fidel Castro died. It really did not look good for his image at all. And then people are saying that coaches are keeping him out of the NFL strictly because of his, more political views, I guess. I mean, there's really no other way to go out and say that. But to be real, Kaepernick hasn't been relevant in a long time. His skills really are not NFL level anymore. And he's even refusing deals to go off into other leagues. Not in the NFL, but for other countries. But that's besides the point. So, now we get into what the kneeling during the anthem actually does. There's no difference. There's no difference if they did do it, and there's no difference if they don't do it. It makes no difference at all. Now, why is that? Because taking a knee is an easy way to try and say what you want. It's trying to put your thoughts on a table and see if people pick up on it or not. And they haven't been. Taking a knee is one thing, and then going off and doing something to try and prove your points, try and spread this message around the entire country. There's a huge difference, and taking a knee is a cop-out of that. If you want to protest against police brutality, you want to go off and show that black lives really do matter, then go to the inner cities and hold, you're an NFL player. If you are in the NFL, your name has enough reputation behind it that you should be able to hold some type of public rally, some type of, meetings or, hold presentations and get people involved in order to stop. Oh, shit. Get people involved to help stop what you want stopped. Taking a knee does nothing. It does none of that. Even when the news reports on it, like, oh, so-and-so took a knee during the anthem, no one gives a fuck. Well, I mean, some conservatives do, but that's besides the point. Because taking a knee, you're putting your message out there, but you're not putting it out in a way that matters. I mean, if I'm not clear on that, let me know in the comments, and I'll go off and I'll try to explain myself a little better. Here, you know what? I'll continue my thought in the next game. Okay, well, now that this is loading in, I'll continue. So, as I was saying, it doesn't make any type of difference. It doesn't say to any children whatsoever, black, white, Asian, it doesn't make a difference. It doesn't give them any message to help this in the future. It doesn't help them stay away from drugs. It doesn't help them stay away from crime. And those are the people that this message really needs to get to in order to make any type of change, any type of difference. You go on to FBI.gov and look at the crime statistics, and it says everything. It says everything you need to know, that gangs, drugs, guns, murders, all of this, even in majorly in the inner cities of like Chicago or Detroit, any type of big city, right? And it doesn't change anything. It doesn't give them any type of core message to look up to other than the fact that they should kneel during the anthem. Take a look at what's happening in like any of your local high schools. They might have even done it already, but coaches are going off against their students for taking a knee during the anthem, and they don't even know what they're kneeling for. They're doing it because they see adults doing it. Man, I'm getting shit on right now when I'm doing this. But they don't even know what they're protesting, because there is no core message, because all they're doing is kneeling, and they're not doing anything in order to try and change anything. Basically, what I'm saying is their whole movement, it's symbolic. But there's no substance. And you have to have substance in order to back up any claim you're making. And so far in the league, they're not. They're not doing that at all. Now, let's take a look at the opposition in the whole NFL matter. It's mostly conservatives or NFL watchers in general. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter your political orientation. That's a hindsight in the matter. But what's happening there? People are going off and striking against the NFL. They're not watching their favorite teams anymore. They're going off in the DirecTV NFL ticket. Even DirecTV had to go off and refund that because there are so many people that are saying, I'm done, I'm fed up with this shit. It's anti-American and I don't want to put up with it. I don't necessarily agree with all of that because all of the players doing what they're doing are well within their rights. And as a conservative, I'm fully aware of that. I am okay with them trying to kneel. It makes no difference to me whatsoever. I'm a Packers fan, and the whole team was basically locking arms and doing all that shit, which I'll get to that in a minute. But I had no quarrel with that at all. But what does that say about the audience? If you take a closer look into it, the people that are going off and saying they're not going to watch the games, they're doing exactly that. And the NFL ratings are down, and they're getting lower every week. It's exactly what Trump said was going to happen, whether you agree with him politically or not. He was correct. Now, that gets into the other side of it. What about all the people that are going off and applauding these players for taking a knee and standing together? A lot of them don't watch the NFL to begin with. And again, there's statistics on that online as well that you should look at. I may or may not link this in the comments or in the description. It all depends if I remember at the end of the video. But if they don't watch the NFL to begin with, it does nothing because the people that think they're understanding the message that's coming out don't even watch it to begin with. Now, I'm going to get into my favorite team with the Green Bay Packers. Some of them kneeled. Most of them linked arms. And that was in response to what Trump said with firing all the sons of bitches, you know, going off and doing that. That was a quote, by the way. I'm not calling anyone that. But you got to keep in mind here, this is very important for the Packers at least, because the Packers are fan-owned. And being fan-owned means a lot more. You need fan approval. You need people that are willing to watch the games. And the Packers have done an amazing job with that all throughout their history. Lambeau is always packed, win or lose. You'll see the stadium full to the end. You got the season pass holders. I mean, there's such a long wait list in order to get one of those. It's beyond crazy. Like, they could raise their ticket prices in Lambeau. Like, they could probably double it and not lose any amount of tickets sold. It's absolutely crazy. But that means a lot because they have fan support. And what's happened because of all this controversy is that they are losing fan support. There are a lot of Green Bay Packer fans and NFL fans in general that do not agree with how this thing is being protested. And that says a lot. Being fan-owned, I mean, the most important thing you can have are fans. And if they don't agree with what your team is doing politically, especially since it shouldn't be a team issue to begin with. Oh man, I had him. Especially since it shouldn't be a team issue to begin with, it's raising a lot more eyebrows than it should, even though there's no core message. Now this brings me to the point of, like, the question here. What happens next? If there's no core message and people aren't understanding what they're putting out, what's going to happen in the future? Now, obviously I can't say anything's for certain because I can't read the future. I can't tell. But I think if it keeps going this way, NFL ratings are going to keep getting lower, and no one's really going to give a shit. As an NFL fan, that sucks. But then again, the NFL fields, they are not the place to go off and protest anything. You are a part of a team. You are a part of an organization. You are a part of a certain culture. And that place is not the area for it. You get a lot of cameras on you, and I think that's the reason they chose to do it the way they did, because people get to see it more. It's broadcasted all over the United States. It helps spread their message. But I think that's the real reason it's going off and pissing off a lot of people, is because it's not the place for it. During the off season, you don't see NFL players doing shit about people's cultures or anything like that, because that's what it really is. It's not a race issue. It's a culture issue. And that's really kind of what I discussed earlier with, like, the inner cities and big cities, Chicago, Detroit. There's really just nothing else to that. It's a culture issue. Now, why does the NFL, like, why do teams think that they have even a say in. It's almost like a celebrity coming out just to make a political decision. Like, no one gives a fuck about your opinions because we all have our own. And it doesn't do anything. It makes no difference in the long run, and I think it was just a terrible place to go off and hold these types of protests, especially since we don't know if anyone's going to continue anything in the off season. If they went off and held these different seminars and used their names in order to spread awareness, most importantly to like middle schools, high schools, and colleges across the entire country, and focus in these larger cities, we wouldn't have an issue today. Either way, that's my opinion. If you have a different one, please leave it in the comments. I'd love to read it. Please like the video if you agreed with what I was saying. This is Vapes to Gaming. I'll see you next time.